Good morning to you.
Morning.
Just give me a flavour of what life is like at the yard at the moment.
It's carrying on. It's carrying on pretty much the same, but not the same. I mean, everything's the same, but everything's changed. The horses still have to go out. They still have to canter every day. They still have to be fed and looked after and mucked out. We have to have farriers. We have to have vets. It's all, it's all horse welfare is very important, obviously. But, no one, we practice social distancing. We only have one person in the feed room at one time, one person in the tack room, and we're just doing our best.
How worried are you from a financial standpoint?
I'm okay at the moment. Personally speaking from a personal point of view, I'll be fine if we start racing in the beginning of May. I'd probably be okay if we start racing in the beginning of June, and anything after that is starting to look pretty dicey.
So what would you then hope for? I mean, you've seen the government measures Friday, which essentially allows you to retain staff, because you then don't have the liability of employing those staff, providing they're not earning over £30,000. The government will pay up to 80% of that money, but then they're not in the yard. So how do you square that with looking after the horses?
Well, exactly. I mean, you are reliant on your owners continuing to pay for the horses, or the horses going out of the yard, and then you have to furlough staff, and then the government pay for it. It's, which is best? I mean, the best is for us to keep the horses going, so we're ready for action, and hopefully the owners, who are probably also taking huge financial hits all over the place, are still paying their training fees. What
have your owners done and said so far?
My owners have been amazing. They've all said, "Yep, carry on. We'll review it and see what happens."
How difficult do you think this will be, particularly for those sort of 2-year-olds that people will be wanting to get out between now and what would have been Royal Ascot?
Well, I think some of them will have been buzzed up, ready for the start of the season. First meeting was going to be next Saturday, and I imagine that those that were going to run their 2-year-olds there, they'd have had them rip-roaring ready to go. Mine are more backward than that, so I'm not in quite the same position. But it's going to be hard, because then when you do have them out, you're taking on a different type of horse. So maybe your window of opportunity for winning races will have gone.
How's the morale amongst staff?
It's pretty good. I don't think it's really hit them yet. And you keep telling them about their social responsibility, but I'm not 100% sure it's got into all of them.
What would you say to people working in the sport all around the country about their own responsibilities?
Do what you can. The longer, the best. If everyone does the best they can, it'll shorten the time we have to do it for. The longer people flout the rules, the longer it's going to go on for.
Have you had much contact from jockeys?
Charlie Bishop is comes to ride out a couple of times a week. And I know he's in good. He's sort of the same as me. He could take a hit, but I mean, these jockeys, they're all self-employed. I really do worry about their mental health as much as anything, because they've also got to not get too heavy at the same time.
So they've got to keep their fitness up, which again could be difficult in due course. In terms of your day-to-day operation, how do you envisage keeping that on the road for the next two to 4 weeks?
Well, I have to. I'm not too bad. All my staff, 99% of my staff are on site. And as long as we can still get the feed in, and the bedding, and the farrier, and the vets, as long as we're allowed to use all of those services, and we should be fine. And we just have to keep ticking over, just keep them cantering every day. We're not doing any fast work. I've cut all their feed down so they don't get too mad. And just, cut the protein levels down. They still have to have the same amount of food, but it's a sort of lower protein level we're using. And just fingers crossed that we can eventually get back to... It won't be normal. I just can't believe it's going to be normal. We'll get back to something.
Eve, thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Keep safe.
You too, Eve Johnson-Houghton. Subscribe to Racing TV to be notified when more Luck on Sunday videos are appearing online. And don't forget to join me for the show every Sunday morning from 9 o'clock with the best guests.